Hi and welcome to Stamp and Stuff. Today I'm going to talk about background stamps and what you can do with them. Now these stamps are all from Darker & Dora and they have a growing range of background stamps which are really cool. They're really nice designs, but they're actually a really big stamp and they can completely cover a card front. So you've got much larger than your regular little accent stamp. And I'm going to show you a few things that I do with them. One of my favourite things I like to do with background stamps is just stamp on the card base, and often I cover it up so you can't really see a whole lot, but you can see it's there and it just gives it that extra little bit of interest to the card. So you can see there's like a script behind, swirls, and this one here is another script. So I'm going to show a couple of options now of what I do. The first one is using chalks. So I'm going to stamp the image in VersaMark, which is a clear ink, and all it does is when it dries is it makes the colour of the cardstock slightly darker than it was before. So you can see here where I've stamped it in VersaMark, it's just slightly darker than the cardstock. You can get chalks in many sets now. These are Pebbles chalks, which are really pretty. There's metallic colours and shimmering colours, and you can also get the just regular pastel type colours, like just flat chalk colours as well. So to start with, I'm just going to stamp with just the plain VersaMark, which is the clear ink, and I'm going to just show you how it darkens off. As it dries, it'll get darker. So you need to make sure you press the background stamp really well. You don't have to worry too much about it rocking because it's such a big stamp. So as you can see there, it's just made a darker shade of that cardstock, and as that dries it'll get a little bit darker as well. The next technique I like to do is using the VersaMark again. Ink your stamp, and then after I've stamped it down, I like to rub a bit of chalk over the top. And this is where you can use a darker shade of the cardstock you're using so that the colour is more vibrant, or you can change the colour completely. So you can say rub a red colour over the top. It's really up to you. But I'm using a pom-pom and some chalk, and while that's wet, just rub the chalk over the design, and you can darken areas of it. So you can see how that's changing colour and going a little bit darker. So you can also change colour completely and rub, say green over the top. And then you can just brush the excess that ends up on the cardstock. So if you can tend to brush that off quite well once the ink is dry. Changing colour again, sort of a yellow colour. So yeah, as you can see, you can end up with some nice effects. This card here is one where I've stamped in VersaMark, and then I rubbed over the top with a light brown. And same with this one here was the light brown as well. So it just makes it a bit more vibrant so you can see it a lot better. But it's not as harsh as it would be if you were to stamp it with an ink pad. If you were to stamp that with an ink pad, it would be really vibrant. But this is just a bit more of a subtle look. The last technique I'm using is Perfect Pearls, and these are beautiful. They're by Tim Holtz from Ranger, and you can stamp and then rub the Perfect Pearls over the top for a really beautiful shimmering look. And it's stunning. I was playing around with it last night and I really like the effects. So again, I'm just going to stamp with VersaMark, or you could use Tim Holtz embossing ink as well. Embossing ink is really good, and it's a lot more moist than the VersaMark. The VersaMark will dry really quickly, whereas the embossing ink, you have a lot more work time with it, and the ink pads are really well inked. But just so that I don't have to clean my stamp again, I'm going to just use the VersaMark. Then just take a paintbrush. I'll leave that on there so it doesn't dry too quick. Take a paintbrush and then just rub the Perfect Pearls over the top. And they're so beautiful, and they look really good when you mix colours together as well. So you can put a little bit of green in there as well, and rub it over the areas where you've already put the red. Looks really pretty. And tap it off, and like I said before, you can brush that off. Once the ink's dry properly, you can actually give it a good little brush and get some of that excess you can sort of see there to come off. Okay, so I hope that's given you a couple of ideas that you can use your background stamps for. The stamp I used today is called Flourish, and that's a darkroom door stamp. So thank you for watching.